All right, let's jump right into this. Welcome to today's Explainer, where we're digging into a seriously compelling venture pitch for Soil Solutions Ghana. We're going to explore a data-driven ecosystem that literally bridges the gap between raw earth and cloud computing. Whether you're an investor, sitting on a grant committee, or just a tech enthusiast like us, this is an absolute masterclass in localized impact. I want to start with a thought that really exposes the illusion of modern tech adoption. The tech sector loves to build in a vacuum. We deploy tools from glass offices in Accra and wonder why field adoption stalls. You can build the most brilliant algorithm on the planet, but if it doesn't survive contact with the dirt, it's completely useless. So how do we actually fix this? Well, we're going to break it down into 5 key parts. First, the market hook and problem. Second, the Asaze Pas Soil Kit. Third, Farm Assist AI. Fourth, the power of combination. And finally, traction and scalability.
Part 1. The market hook and problem.
When you're out there in the physical farming landscape, the reality is pretty stark. Decades of top-down, incredibly slow-moving frameworks have left farmers deeply, deeply skeptical of outside promises. The climate is shifting rapidly, and for a smallholder farmer, the margin for error is essentially zero. We are looking at a severe systemic crisis built on 4 main pillars. First, severe soil degradation. Second, highly unpredictable crop yields that directly threaten livelihoods and food security. Third, dangerously low extension coverage, meaning the actual human experts are just stretched way too thin to help farmers adopt climate-resilient practices. And fourth, a massive evidence gap on whether these trendy digital advisory tools actually work on the ground. Part 2. The Asasopa Soil Kit. Enter our proprietary hardware, the Asasopa Soil Test Kit. This is an instant, totally affordable DIY tool for on-the-ground chemical and physical soil diagnostics. Farmers don't have to wait weeks for a city lab to get back to them anymore. The testing happens right there, directly in the dirt. The simplicity here is the real game changer. It's basically 3 steps. 1, you extract a localized soil sample. 2, test it for essential macro and micro plant nutrients. And 3, instantly determine the most suitable crop and get specific organic fertilization guidelines. Farmers bypass all the bureaucratic red tape and get the exact chemical baseline of their land in real time.
Part 3. Software intelligence, specifically Farm Assist AI.
Now, let's zoom out to the cloud. If the soil kit is the ground game, Farm Assist AI provides the macro-level intelligence. It operates above the field, analyzing vast areas of land to deliver real-time advice that perfectly complements what's happening down on the ground. Think of Farm Assist AI as a virtual extension officer. It analyzes soil health using satellite imagery and machine learning. But here's the absolute best part for scalability. It communicates natively in 125 languages, and it's fully accessible on basic mobile devices. You don't need a fancy smartphone. It delivers predictive, climate-smart agronomic advice straight to the basic phones farmers already have in their pockets.
Part 4. The power of combination.
This is where the magic really happens. The end-to-end data ecosystem. We're taking the Asaze Kit, which extracts raw physical chemical data from degraded soil, and combining it with Farm Assist AI, which ingests that exact data to deliver predictive, localized crop and irrigation recommendations. By fusing hardware and cloud intelligence, we're effectively replacing that missing human extension coverage with a fully integrated, scalable network. But remember what we talked about earlier? Building a sophisticated AI model is the easy part. Getting a smallholder farmer to trust it is where most AgTech projects fail completely. That insight is absolutely crucial. A farmer staring at a dry, failing field doesn't care about cloud computing. They care about survival. So, to overcome this massive trust deficit, Soil Solutions Ghana built a community-centric trust economy. They don't just blast out text messages and cross their fingers. They deploy actual agronomists directly into the fields alongside the tech. These liaisons actively translate digital risk alerts into tangible, real-world field decisions. Public engagement isn't just some marketing buzzword here. It's a strict risk mitigation strategy to move this from a fun digital novelty to measurable, reliable food security. Part 5. Traction, Scalability, and Impact. Let's look at the hard numbers. 11,523. That is the exact number of smallholder farmers Soil Solutions Ghana has already successfully supported. That's over 11,000 individual farming operations shifting away from top-down guesswork and moving straight into data-driven action. And through that growing network, they've meticulously tested 996,703 acres of farmland. That is nearly 1 million acres. They are actively building an unprecedented, highly localized map of soil health across the entire region. What does this mean for the future? Well, the literature on digital advisory interventions points to massive anticipated effect sizes. We're talking about a targeted zero point 0.3 to zero point 0.5 standard deviation improvement in crop yields. That translates directly into more climate-smart practices being adopted and a real, measurable increase in household agricultural income.
But honestly, we aren't just relying on academic estimates. To definitively validate these metrics, Soil Solutions Ghana is currently designing a pilot randomized controlled trial with Innovations for Poverty Action, or IPA. This will provide causal, undeniable evidence. It ensures the business model scales strictly on proven, hard data.
And the global tech community is definitely paying attention. Pharmacist was actually just recognized as a finalist in the 2025 AI for Good Impact Awards, specifically under the AI for Planet category. They're getting true third-party validation for using satellite imagery and AI to analyze soil degradation and support regenerative farming on a global scale. Which brings us to the ultimate question as we wrap up this explainer. They've got the hardware, the software, the community trust, and the evidence. The only thing missing now is the scale. So, when the next global food crisis hits, will your capital be tied up in abstract digital trends, or will it be actively planted in the ground, generating measurable regional food sovereignty?